AVS Media Demo.
In Madagascar, in the Fianarantsoa region, the University of Fianarantsoa was a regional hospital and
AVS Media Demo.
NGOs. So the validation was only technical, not about the human use. The use should be for the people that work in the NGOs or people with a lower
AVS Media Demo.
But people that can use quite easily the smartphone. So it was about collecting, it was all collecting geolocated and epidemiological data in case of clinical suspicion or questionnaires.
AVS Media Demo.
Cases of human, zoonotic, and animal disease. And this program can be tailored to the needs and means of its stakeholders. So what we want is to increase information communication and to make production of disease maps.
AVS Media Demo.
Production of epidemiological databases and to increase speed of communication. So next slide, please.
AVS Media Demo.
So the acquisition is from the field and it's automatic transmission and analyze of the located data, report the questionnaires, as I told you, and transmission into GIS and especially
AVS Media Demo.
Pages, the publication pages. It's a combination of Firefox and LiseMap. LiseMap is a program that has been developed by René Ludon from Trois. So what's quite important is
AVS Media Demo.
Welcome to the panel about data visualization. I'm Jacopo Italiani. I work at Practical Tech in Berlin, which is an NGO that works among other things in the information design area, serving other NGOs and training journalists and activists to use data visualization.
AVS Media Demo.
And other aims. Okay. I would like to introduce all my co-panelists who have very interesting stories for you here. And let me start from Ivan Gator from Doctors Without Borders, UK. He's going to talk about how we could use visual
AVS Media Demo.
to understand data. Then we have Andrew Gray from British Red Cross. You probably already know him. He's going to show us what they have done in terms of data visualization at British Red Cross. And then we have connected from Skype Jean-Charles Denain from the Research Institute of the University of Montpellier. Can you hear me?
AVS Media Demo.
Okay, I'll try to speak louder. Hi, can you hear us? Okay, great. And he's going to illustrate us their research. He's going to illustrate us the outputs of his research at his university and laboratory. Okay.
AVS Media
As
Demo.
you all probably know nowadays, data visualization is a buzzword. You can hear about data visualizations everywhere, including media, NGOs, governments, open data movements who want to illustrate and to display their amazing data sets, universities,
AVS Media Demo.
whoever. And it's a very powerful approach to communication because it lays the foundation of something which could be more scientific than just free flow of words and concepts, because it binds the communication to a scientific background and a data set or set
AVS Media Demo.
This way, you are moving the conversation towards a more scientific aspect and background. I'm going to show you some examples of one of the most amazing works that have been published by outstanding newspapers online, mostly from America.
AVS Media Demo.
ProPublica was a very important NGO-style media outlet that deals with donations and tries to create impact to change society. And they're based in the US. Then I'm going to show you something from the New York Times. And they
AVS Media Demo.
Data journalism and data-driven visualization and interactive news development. And then I'm going to show you some examples from NGOs that are using data to create impact and to target the general audience and to bring their issues, the issues that they call
AVS Media Demo.
to the center of the public discourse. And to do that, they are using online visualizations of data and maps and crowdsourcing techniques to gather, collect data from people. In the end, if we have time, I will also show you some toolkits that can be very useful for
AVS Media Demo.
to have an idea about data journalism and data visualization. And most of these tools are user-friendly and easy to use. Let me tell you that it's not important now to get all the links from the browser, because I will share with you all the resources I'm mentioning in the end of the talk.
AVS Media Demo.
My colleagues are going to do in the end. They will share all the slides and resources. I will start now. If you have questions, feel free to ask, or in the end we'll have also a moment for this, so don't worry. I would like to introduce the British Red Cross.
AVS Media Demo.
It's okay for you? Yeah, to start with your presentation. As I told you, it will explain us what they have done so far, British Red Cross, using user-friendly tools, hopefully. Hopefully. Perhaps get all the money. Yeah.
AVS Media Demo.
Hi, I'm Richard Cross. I am here because I don't know how to make a map, but my team does. And it's a mix of...
AVS Media Demo.
It's a volunteer-based team, and it's got a number of staff involved as well. High turnover of skills and people, but they tend to be relatively highly skilled, and we try and use them where appropriate. So we have lots of unanswered questions, and we're trying to tackle them with very opportunistic with the skills that
AVS Media Demo.
the employed team have. This is what we have done. It's not necessarily what we want to do. What we want to do is that cool stuff, and what we want to do is that cool stuff. We're on a journey to get there. This is also our GIS team. So we started with, here's some data, it should be on a map.
AVS Media Demo.
Volunteers helped us do that. It wasn't a GIS volunteer, it was an action. So somebody who's very good at spreadsheets, Simon, helped us go from a spreadsheet to a KML file in Google Earth, and that has moved on to our whole GIS capacity. It always starts with data, right? That is our
AVS
journey.
Media Demo.
3-4 months, all we were doing was trying to get our head around the data, the tools, the processes, the volume, and then slowly it gets more and more structured. And we're still aiming for the presented usefully visually. So that's the simple answer. The data gets more complicated.
AVS Media Demo.
It starts with the data. So if somebody comes to us and asks a question about Ebola, for instance, which Laurie probably help me with. Data. The data doesn't exist, you can't visualize it. So, making the pretty map is brilliant, but the fact that it took 3 volunteers
AVS Media Demo.
research to come up with which borders are closed and which aren't, like well referenced, so that we can reliably make the map, put our name to it and say, this is what we think is happening with movement restrictions in Ebola. That's what takes the work. The pre-map is it's a nice result, but you have to go through every step to get there. It's really hard.
AVS Media Demo.
So that's the one we see all the time. That's where GIS came from. It's where a lot of stuff name came from. That's not the only version of that map. It just happens to be the most useful version of that map because it becomes obvious because of the way it's been presented. Because they're drawing your eyes to the right place.
AVS Media Demo.
Middle of the page, the little blue tap is where the watermark is. Whereas on here, it's slightly less useful. There are lots of other ways of presenting stuff. Lots of interpretations. That's all about kind of what you're trying to achieve for the user. You have to have already answered the question almost to get something useful.
AVS Media Demo.
A lot of interpretations. You've got to make sure that they're actually what your user is looking for. So understanding your use case, the purpose of the visualization, the purpose of the data. Data doesn't just magically visualize. It's like you need to actually be answering the question. Our GIS team started a little bit after the American GIS team.
AVS Media Demo.
Open iterative approach. They did this thing called the Mapfolio, which is hosted on GitHub, which is their stuff. Highly recommend taking a look at that. We learned a lot from them. During the typhoon, we started working with them a lot more closely. And they were like, okay, can you make
AVS Media
they
Demo.
have, data structures and pre-process a nice map. And then they sort of said, oh, can we help them keep the map up to date? We're like, yeah, brilliant. We've learned all about GIS, we can do that. They weren't using GIS, they were using Illustrator. So they were using Adobe Illustrator to pick out the pretty maps that they were doing, because that's what they found was useful in the field.
AVS Media Demo.
Accurate maps that went into details. The one that had the right mix of colors and color saturation, and had little drop shadows, little info boxes, stuff that's reasonably hard to do in art, but it's very easy to do in Illustrator. So they do their geographic prep work in art, and then that comes across to Illustrator.
AVS Media
Then
Demo.
to upskill. Anybody heard of Linda? Anyone? No? Okay. Linda. You like Linda? It's a website to learn stuff. It costs a lot of money, a little bit of money. For a team of volunteers who are keen to learn, who are young, who are digital. Yeah, they come in with one of those skills.
AVS Media Demo.
Right? Doesn't matter whether it's Python or D3 or blah blah blah. Giving them access to resources to learn stuff is super. D3 and JavaScript, Arc, Illustrator, they're only the tools of the now. The stuff is all going somewhere. Everyone's using slightly different workflows, slightly different toolkits. There's got to be flexibility. It's not one solution.
AVS Media Demo.
Access to good training and just a good introduction to stuff. My skill set is Excel. I don't teach people Excel. I told people that, like, we have a subscription. I'm not going to teach you how to use pivot tables or graphs or whatever. You're going to learn about this. You're going to do a lot better than that.
AVS Media Demo.
Output. Once you've gone through all those data, blah blah blah, sorting processes. So this was made by Paul. With Paul, here we go. Plus a couple of volunteers in the room who is kind of gone through that process of trying to find the data. So that links to a Google Doc of
AVS Media Demo.
research, well-referenced research, which the volunteers have done, like Joseph and that, of which borders are closed and which aren't, which towns are under isolation, which aren't, and blah blah blah. That's how you get to do the arc, and then you get to do the Illustrator on top of it, so that you have the little drop shadows and you have the little.
AVS Media Demo.
So the next step, so that's still a static map. It's basically designed for A4 or A3. That's what goes into meetings. That's what gets emailed. If you want to take something into a meeting, in the field, it's definitely paper.
AVS Media Demo.
So do not underestimate the power of data. Pretty data helps. We're also working with the Typhoon stuff, working with Aksha and 3Ws and all the other organizations. And we were a bit frustrated that there's this amazing app that comes out of Aksha, really hard to understand for us who was doing what.
AVS Media Demo.
Simon ended up in the field doing things and ended up doing an interactive dashboard of their 3W maps. So basically you can click on a place and this will all adjust and tell you who is working where, doing what. So it's the same data, it's just instead of being presented in like flat dimensions.
AVS Media Demo.
So this is definitely part of our future. It's not the only feature, it's not the only whatever, but it's got the right references, it's got the right source material, it's just a different way of interacting with it. This is another one which Simon will probably demo in a little bit, which is Ebola again. It's
AVS Media Demo.
But it's interactive, so you can understand the. So I look at that. All I do is click on red cross to see where we're working. Ivan looks at that. All he does is click on MSF and see where is that one. So people can suddenly very quickly check the data and feed back into the feedback loop, the interactive stuff.
AVS Media Demo.
Which is super useful. Again, all of this is about the user story. What's the user trying to understand? What are the people who look at 3Ws? What are they trying to get? So that leads us onto the sort of narrative, sort of story narrative. So this again is Simon doing D3 dashboards.
AVS Media Demo.
So this is meant to tell the story of Ebola at the time. So when you go to the page the first time, it starts with a timeline here, 0 deaths, 0 cases, kind of like that. And slowly, as you kind of scroll through, the narrative scrolls up. It tells you the sort of a bit of information, and then how the graphs progress and how issues progress.
AVS Media Demo.
That's the basic toolkit for dashboards. Everyone's very excited about dashboards and interaction. That's basically what we use. Yeah, but I know Excel. So I'm you have to start with data. You have to understand the purpose, the user context. What are they trying to do?
AVS Media Demo.
You have too little data, you can have too much data. You really have to know kind of what level of perspective you've got, or how much confidence you have in the data. Referencing your data, actually making the Excel sheet available. It's a huge thing for more people to get more.
AVS Media Demo.
That's pretty much us. If you want to quickly demo and this is what we've done, not what we want to do. Right? The stuff we want to do is what these guys are doing.
AVS Media Demo.
So this was the dashboard we were just looking at.
AVS Media Demo.
3 plots, we've got 2 pie charts, the map, and the organizations. So as Andrew was saying, each graph filters each other. So if we click on the IFRC, the map then adjusts, so you can see where the IFRC is working, and the pie charts then adjust to show the activities the IFRC are doing. So you can see we're mostly doing
AVS Media Demo.
safe burial, and we can see most of our works in Liberia. You can apply another filter on so you can see where we're doing safe burial. The map then adjusts again so you can see particular areas we're working on. You can also go the other way, so if you want to know where someone's working in a particular area, you click the location there, or in Sierra Leone.
AVS Media Demo.
Organization, and you can see the organizations that are working in the area. So originally, this came as a PDF. So this is how the data was originally presented.
AVS Media Demo.
Three-dimensional data, who, what, and where. But the focus here is the where. So it's easy to look at one location and see who's working there and what they're doing. But if you want to ask the question of where are the WHO working, you then have to look at every single box. You can't just click one bar and see the results.
AVS Media Demo.
And the same if you want to look at an activity, see where coordination's happening. Again, you have to look all around the map. So it's only presented focusing on the where, but the dashboard can focus on all three dimensions of who, what, and where.
Okay, that's happy to answer questions. Again, stuff I was going to talk about for one.
AVS Media Demo.
So what we're selling it, actually.
I would like to add something about narratives because I was kind of amazed when I saw the Ebola narrative dashboard.
AVS Media Demo.
There is a huge potential in terms of narrative that is still undeveloped that could be used to target like the general audience that could engage on this kind of narratives to get more visibility and a design that is more user-friendly and more compatible with what people consume from media.
AVS Media Demo.
And so I would like to highlight the importance of tell a story when you visualize data. If you are interested in targeting and accessing a general audience and you want to engage them in campaigns. And I mean, it's pretty much all there except some kind of
AVS Media Demo.
tell and to let the narrative emerge around the data that is being visualized. And this can be applied to any kind of visualization that we see here, I suppose. So, thanks for the very nice introduction.
AVS Media Demo.
Right. So Andrew and Pete Masters here were kind enough to bring sort of the definitive works on data visualization. I work for MSF.
AVS Media Demo.
And I am originally actually a tree planter. I worked for MSF in the field for 10 years. And as I said in one of the earlier presentations, my interest is for my field teams to be able to make informed resource allocation decisions. From the data we have, from what we know, that we're able to save more lives. Part of that is being able to communicate information.
AVS Media Demo.
I stumbled upon a guy named Edward Tufte, who is kind of referred to as the Da Vinci of data. This is the person who wrote a book with the snappy title, The Visual Display of Quantitative Information. Which, when you think about it, is actually quite profound. The idea that we can have quantitative information, we ought to be able to display it through what is in fact the highest bandwidth input output.
AVS Media Demo.
Which is the eyes. I mean, your eyesight can actually take in vastly greater amounts of information than your hearing or any of the other senses. We don't talk about touch too much because that's a different type of interaction, but if you're just trying to get work information across to someone, then the eyes are the way to go. So this is kind of the fundamental distillation of Tufte's ideas.
AVS Media Demo.
Good graphical communication should communicate the maximum number of ideas in the minimum amount of time with the minimum amount of ink in the least amount of space possible. All of those are pretty easy to figure except the ink. Why don't you care how much ink you use? Particularly nowadays when ink is digital, so it's free. It's just the color of a pixel.
AVS Media Demo.
You're not just using ink, you're also using the person's eyes. Every color that you put on a map or on a graph or on a display is making use of somebody's visual system. So, my wonderful friend here, Pete Masters, has a book full of stupendous examples of
AVS Media Demo.
ever done. And this is a wonderful book, which I highly recommend that you buy, even though I don't get any commission on it. But it's actually a bunch of examples of summarization of our medical registry. Registry looks like this, which indeed contains a lot of information.
And when we make it look like this, it actually tells you a lot more about what's going on.
AVS Media Demo.
Clustering here along the river, which is in fact where more of the cholera cases were than anywhere else. But just to come back to this, I made the point in an earlier conversation that everyone always talks about John Snow. So I've refrained from showing John Snow's map. It's overused. This is New York in 1832. And these are cholera cases.
AVS Media Demo.
2011. And we still haven't quite got the level of location of our patients that we did almost 200 years ago in New York. But nevertheless, we're working on it. At least what we do have is an awfully pretty visualization, which actually, when we run that one through time, gives you a pretty good sense of what's actually going on. Now, I'm not here to talk about medical
AVS Media Demo.
Andrew did make the point, which I want to re-emphasize, that if you're really good at making pretty pictures, you might be able to sell used cars, but you're not going to actually make very good operational decisions. So I want to talk a little bit about the actual communication of data. Now here, I think the whole idea of using the minimum amount of somebody's time.
AVS Media Demo.
Obvious. I want to talk about using less ink. And by ink, what I'm really talking about is use of your visual system. So, what am I trying to get across here? Without knowing anything about this data, what do you think I'm likely trying to tell you with this map? Worse things are red. Worse things are red. Why do we know that?
AVS Media Demo.
Yeah, there's a convention. Green, yellow, red. Okay, so obviously green. Now, what does your eye see most? What's the color you see most? Okay, I'll give you back and forth between red and green. All right. I'm going to show you another map now. Same map, same information.
AVS Media
Now,
Demo.
okay. Is your eye drawn to anything but what you think I'm trying to draw your attention to? Okay. What color is my water? Yeah. Do you know where it is? Yeah. Why do you know where it is?
AVS Media Demo.
Oh, I've actually, all right, this doesn't actually translate too well, so I'm going to flip back to the actual source here. So here's GIS program. Right. So here I actually have
AVS Media Demo.
if I just sort of do the standard, green, yellow, red, it's like a traffic light, so I want you to worry about the red. And here I have, I was worried that would show through, but I have another one. Okay, now what color is my water? Yeah. But a shade
AVS Media Demo.
just to give you the impression, I'm not going to use any more ink than I absolutely need to tell you where the water is. I do need to tell you where the water is. That's actual information. But the rest of it, if I go back to that earlier map, which is
AVS Media Demo.
pardon me. Pardon me. So here I am actually looking on it, even though
AVS Media Demo.
I don't need the internet. So everyone else can understand that. Now, okay, once again, I bring you back here to where and by the way, this is my very poor attempt to use some of Edward Tuft's principles of graphic communication to improve my information to my field teams in the Philippines. Right. I look at this,
AVS Media
it's
Demo.
actually quite similar to a lot of maps which were published by a lot of people, including me. And looking at it, just remembering that simple mantra: maximum number of ideas, minimum amount of time, minimum amount of space, minimum amount of ink. This entire page is covered with ink. I've sloshed blue all over the entire Pacific.
AVS Media Demo.
Okay, here's the track of the hurricane, that's fairly obvious. Here's the places where nothing happened. Here's all those places where nothing happened. Why do I need to put ink on those? So, come back to that principle of reducing the information you place on a map. You use less ink, and you're making less use of somebody's visual system. In other words,
AVS Media Demo.
differentiate, the brightly colored green and the bright blue ocean from the stuff that I'm trying to call your attention to. Broadly, what I'm trying to call your attention to is that these people probably need help. Turns out, in actual fact, that's not a big deal because this is Tacloban. This is where everybody gets off the airplane and goes, oh my god, and they get to work right away. But all these little places where we actually have,
AVS Media Demo.
necessarily obvious from the airport, that's genuine information. Now, another principle, just to prove that nothing is ever simple, another one of the pictures you'll find in these marvelous books is this one, the caption of which is, to clarify, add detail. It's the human visual system.
AVS Media Demo.
There's not actually all that much ink in there. It's all gray. It's all pretty relaxed use of color with bits of green to indicate they help give you a sense of place. But the analogy I'm going to come up with here is, again, Lubumbashi, which Eureka will recognize. This is a slum in a swamp in southern Congo.
AVS Media Demo.
No official map ever existing where after we did a humanitarian open street map mapping party, we're actually traced down to the individual slum shack. Now, imagine you don't have those little trace buildings. All you've got is the lines, white lines. One looks very much like another. As soon as you put this in, just like
AVS Media Demo.
that adding of detail gives it depth, makes it more real for the human visual system. So this is where mapping is not mere science. It's at worst artisanal, and really it's art. Because if you're going to communicate something really well, you have to know maybe as much about the human visual system.
AVS Media Demo.
We're in France, so I'm not using the Dutch masters. But the idea is, and this is where I hope this will turn into a conversation rather than a monologue. The idea is, data is important. A lot of the data that we deal with actually is quantitative, particularly in medical work, which is one
AVS Media Demo.
a lot of humanitarian work could actually stand to be more data-driven and evidence-based, which is a big buzzword these days. It doesn't make sense to actually be evidence-based. More or less means have a reason for what you do. So to make decisions based on this, on the data you have, I believe the question that was asked here was,
AVS Media
does it have to
Demo.
be beautiful to be useful? No, it can be ugly. It's going to be more useful if it's beautiful, and by beautiful I mean if it actually speaks to your brain in the way that your visual system and your eyes and your mind have evolved. And your mind did not actually evolve despite the square box that we're in. We actually evolved for
AVS Media Demo.
not full of primary bright colors, but full of shades and full of microscopic detail. And if there's one thing that our visual system really evolved to see, it's a little bit of movement, bright stripes amongst dull grass, moving ever so slightly and maybe stalking you with a little tail twitching. If you make use of that idea, the way the human visual system
AVS Media Demo.
evolved system for picking out the essentials out of a whole grassy field of savanna, there's one tiger's tail. Yeah, you can actually make use of that in ways that wouldn't be readily obvious from just reading a book on GIS. So for those of you who want to be serious cartographers, and I do not call myself a serious cartographer, by the way.
AVS Media Demo.
But I think if you really want to communicate well using this medium, it's worth actually studying the principles also of graphic design, studying the human visual system, and these books on the visual display of quantitative information. So with all that, I believe we have a Skype presentation.
AVS Media Demo.
Thank you. And really more.
You can start.
Okay.
Is everybody sure?
AVS Media Demo.
No PowerPoint?
Do you have PowerPoint?
Yeah, I'm loading. Crash. Oh, it works.
Ok, vous direz suivant quand on passera.
Pardon?
dites suivant quand
AVS Media Demo.
D'accord, next slide.
Yeah.
This one, right?
Yes.
Cool.
And when he will say next,
Okay. I'll change
yeah,
when it says now.
great.
Hello everyone, do you understand me? Do you hear me?
Yes.
AVS Media Demo.
Is it enough loud? Okay, I'm very sorry not to be present to the round table, but unfortunately I had an accident a couple of weeks ago, so the only solution is by Skype. My presentation is about a new
AVS
program
Media
made,
Demo.
in Montpellier with ERD and Trois with a French special information company, and quite well known in GeOng. And the aim of this
AVS Media Demo.
this program was to integrate the latest web and mobile technologies, and to go on field with smartphones and tablets and integrate different data with the questionnaires.
AVS Media Demo.
We did validated this program in frame of research